In the last lecture, we have studied about the sleep power recovery system. In the sleep power recovery system, we have two different models, that is called Cramer system and the Schrödinger system. This lecture, we study about the Cramer system. Sleep power recovery system can only be applicable to the induction motor which are having sleep ring. That is why it's called sleep ring induction motor, SRIM. From the design point of view, the armature of sleep ring induction motor is extended to the outer side. That means, for example, a three-phase winding is there like this and it is star connected. These three windings are actually connected to the three different rings. This one, this one, this one. And these three rings are actually rotated over the shaft. These three rings are called sleep ring, and when we want to make the speed control of the sleep ring induction motor, what we did, we actually connect three different resistance, and by varying the resistance value, we can vary total resistance of the armature winding so that my speed can be changed. So the figure in front of you is a basic induction motor, that is sleep ring induction motor, which actually used to drive a mechanical load. This is nothing but the mechanical load, and these are the three sleep rings. So in diagrammatically, I took this slip ring outside, but actually these slip rings are connected internally. Anyhow, so by varying these three resistance, okay, if I want to control the speed, I mean increase or decrease the speed, for the rotor side control, I can change this resistance value so that my speed of induction motor changes, which actually changes the speed of rotation of the shaft. So what happened? When I change the value of resistance, that means some amount of current is flowing through this resistance, and due to I square R loss, this resistance is getting heated up, and that amount of heat loss is actually from the sleep ring side, that is called sleep loss. And the sleep power recovery system means we do not allow those loss to occur, and we bring those power from the sleep ring, and instead of making any loss in the resistor, we actually fed this power to rotate another motor or another required device. So this is nothing but the complete systems of your Cramer system. A small changes is there. Instead of connecting a resistance, we connect this slip ring into a rotary converter input. Rotary converter means it actually take three-phase AC supply and give output DC supply. That means you can say it is a three-phase rectifier. But why we say it is rotary converter? This is not made up of any solid state device. We can say this is actually a motor generator setup, or we can say, for example, this is a three-phase induction motor and shaft is connected to a DC generator, and this combined together is called as rotary converter, and are giving input as three-phase to rotate this three-phase induction motor. And the three-phase induction motor, while rotating, it actually rotates the shaft of DC generator, and by the excitation, the DC generator produce DC power supply. So this is the working of rotary converter. This red shaft is one mechanical system, and this blue shaft is another mechanical system. In this red shaft, we have connected the sleep ring induction motor and the load. With that, we have connected a DC motor, and in this shaft, we have connected only one rotary converter, which actually take three-phase AC power, which is actually wasted in the sleep ring of induction motor, and that three-phase power is used to rotate the rotor converter, and by the excitation system, DC excitation system, we can convert three-phase AC to DC power. The output of rotary converter, that is DC power, again fed into the input of a DC motor. So here this is the DC motor split ring. So you can say this is a complete ring, it is called sleep ring, and this is break. Here we have two set of rings, then it's called as split ring. Okay, and you know why it's called split ring, why it's called slip ring, and what is the use of this slip ring and split ring. We have already studied in the electrical machine chapter. The input of DC motor is DC actually, and that is getting from the rotary converter, and the field excitation is getting from a DC supply voltage, and this DC motor is rotated again. That means this total shaft is rotated by the slip ring induction motor and also rotated by the DC motor. Clear? Here we can see the power is coming from the slip ring is slip power, and that slip power again fed into the rotor system, and from this power a mechanical power is produced in the DC motor. That means we can see slip power is returned as a mechanical power. So this system, this Cramer system, can also be said as electromechanical cascade. The power drawing by the slip ring induction motor from the three-phase supply, that is called P in or input power, which is actually equal to the mechanical power developed for rotating the mechanical load, that is called PM, plus copper loss or losses in the slip ring induction motor, that is slip times of P in. Okay, this is the actually total power input to the slip ring induction motor. This is the mechanical power output, and this is the copper loss, which is slip times of the input power. This thing I have already explained you in the previous lecture. Okay, and if you rearrange this term, we can find PM is equal to 1 minus X times of P in. Here we can see the mechanical power who is actually needed by this one. This is called PM. So we can see PM is equal to P in minus slip times of P in, and we can see the slip ring induction motor taking input power, and it can able to deliver only the mechanical power. Okay, but this power, the slip power, is actually wasted in terms of copper loss. So what we do, we actually take this power from this three slip ring and again fed it into the input of rotary converter, then converted into DC, and the DC is actually rotate the DC motor, and this slip power here it is converted into mechanical power, and which is added to the shaft. The power which is actually lost in slip ring, this one, is again added to the shaft. That means we can say we do not have any loss in this power. So we can find more or less constant power. Previously, to increase or decrease the speed of induction motor, what we did, we actually changes the value of the resistance which is connected to the slip ring. But here there is no resistance. Then how to change the slip ring induction motor speed? The slip ring induction motor speed can be changed by this DC motor. Okay, if these two motor speed are different, then you can get the equivalent speed of the shaft. That is why to change the speed of DC motor, we can change the excitation of DC motor field by this resistance. This is the way to change the speed of slip ring induction motor. This system is applicable only below the synchronous speed. That means we can vary the speed in the range between 0 RPM and NS, means synchronous speed RPM. As the power which is lost in the slip ring we get by the mechanical power, so we get more and less power. That is why this system can also be called as constant power cascade. If we want to find the advantage of this system, we can see, we can find any speed in the range between 0 and ns. So as the system is applicable below the synchronous speed, that means the speed from 0 RPM to synchronous RPM, for the constant torque drive we can achieve any speed. That is the best advantage of this system. The second important thing is, when we overexcite the rotary converter's field, the rotary converter takes leading current, which can compensate the lagging current taken by slip ring induction motor. That is why we can get a good power factor. That means if this is my power triangle, okay, this is my real power, this is my reactive power, and this is my apparent power. This is the angle between apparent power and real power. When we overexcite this rotary converter, the reactive power taken by slip ring induction motor actually reduces. So as it reduces, the angle between apparent power and real power actually reduces, which in turn increases the power factor, because power factor is equal to cos theta or cos phi. Theta decreases, my power factor increases. So this system also get a good power factor. As this system consists of all the machine, we can say this is the conventional system. By redesigning the Cramer system, we can say it is the modification of Cramer system or modified Cramer system. So this arrangement is the modified Cramer system. Here we eliminate the rotary converter. Here what we did, we take three-phase AC and passes through a three-phase rectifier, and this rectifier actually produce the DC power, which again fed into DC motor. Rest of the operation remains same. Here instead of rotary converter, that means motor generator setup, we connected a three-phase rectifier. This is all about the conventional and modified Cramer system. But after the development of a good inverting system, inverters and solid state devices, what we did, instead of using this motor to feed mechanical power, we actually create this three-phase power and supply back to the main supply from where slip ring induction motor is getting power. That is called static Cramer system. We actually take the three-phase slip power and feed it into a three-phase rectifier, which actually converted three-phase AC into DC value. Again this DC is fed into a three-phase inverter. Okay, this is only possible after the development of inverters. So now this inverter takes DC power and produce three-phase AC, which actually supplied into the main supply. Okay, so this is all about the static Cramer system. Here we can see, except the slip ring induction motor, we are not using any other motor or generator setup. So this is all about the Cramer system. The next lecture we will study about the Schrödinger system. Thank you so much.